In early March 2025, a metallic sphere was reported over Buga, Colombia. Since then, journalists and scientists have been racing to catalog facts, test the material, and separate data from the hype. This is what we actually know, what experts are saying, and what still needs proof. March 2 witnesses and a viral clip show a small glowing object in the sky. Locals retrieved a metallic sphere from the field. Local researchers, including a radiologist, Jose Luis Velasquez, noted the sphere seemed to have no visible welds and observed a three-layered structure on X-ray scans. Early lab work, X-rays and imaging reportedly showed internal microspheres and a dense core. These findings were shared publicly and sparked broad interest. Reported physical characteristics that have been repeatedly mentioned in news reports. A polished metallic outer surface with shallow engravings. Apparent absence of welds or seams. X-ray CT scans showing concentric layers and multiple small internal spheres arranged around a nucleus. Weight reported as a few pounds and a documentation that it felt unusually cold to the touch. These measurements and observations come from initial reports and media summaries. Full peer-reviewed laboratory results have not been published as of the latest coverage. What would convince the scientific community? Detailed compositional analysis, mass spectrometry, X-ray diffraction, electron microscopy, isotopic ratios, and reproducible instrumentation results. So far, public reporting indicates imaging and initial scans, but lacks a full, independently verified materials analysis in the public domain. That's why prominent physicists urge caution. Unusual claims require unusually complete data. Some experts have said the object could be an art project or a manufactured object, pointing to the possibility of advanced fabrication. Others say the internal architecture, if verified, is unusual for known manufacturing techniques. A subset of viral clips claims the object responded to certain sound frequencies in ancient Sanskrit chants. Engineers and skeptical analysts have questioned the methodology of those demonstrations, noting that audiovisual evidence can be manipulated. Not environmental or recording artifacts sometimes masquerade as anomalous behavior, till controlled lab tests under documented conditions reproduce such effects. These claims remain compelling, but unproven. History teaches caution. Recent years have seen sensational objects later revealed as crafted artifacts or hoaxes. Scientists emphasize transparency. Samples, chain of custody, independent labs, and published data. Some media outlets and researchers explicitly compare the Buga Sphere to earlier incidents that were later debunked. That doesn't mean this object is a hoax. It simply frames the process required to move from speculation to verified science. What could the sphere be? Possibilities range from one human-made object, advanced machining, or art object designed to mimic alien characteristics. 2. Aerospace debris or experimental tech. Unfamiliar shapes have come from tests and satellites. 3. Natural object modified by humans. A geological or meteor fragment with later engraving. 4. Extraterrestrial origin. The most extraordinary claim requiring extraordinary reproducible evidence. For example, isotopic signatures outside terrestrial norms. At present, hypotheses 1, 2, 3 remain more parsimonious because they require fewer new assumptions. But only rigorous testing can shift that evaluation. Teams are calling for shared data, full imaging datasets, material samples, and documented test conditions. Independent verification by labs unaffiliated with the initial handlers is the gold standard. Scientists caution against rapid public declarations. And some emphasize the cultural and psychological reasons we assign extra meaning to objects that seem ancient or alien. Key questions that remain: precise chemical and isotopic composition, manufacturing marks at microscale. Did a tool machine those engravings? Provenance of the object who saw it first? Chain of custody, producible physical behaviors under controlled conditions. Does it indeed respond to sound? Until these are answered with public, repeatable analysis, the sphere remains an intriguing anomaly, not a closed case. The Buga Sphere is a real-world reminder of how science must proceed. Gather data, test, replicate, and publish. It has already inspired wonder and debate, and it should inspire rigorous investigation too. We'll keep following the story and bring you updates as verified results appear. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe and hit the bell. And always demand the data behind the headline.